Welcome to the Personal Perseverance Project. My name is David Atkins, retired New York State Trooper, $1 Million Direct Sales International Business Earner, author, and keynote motivational speaker, where each week I come here to help you break through your excuses so you can live a life up to your fullest potential. Let the project begin.
That is my mindset. I operate on a level of excellence, and you guys need to wake up every single day, and you need to operate on a level of excellence and create your masterpiece.
What's up, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Personal Perseverance Project. For those of you that always get the new episode on Monday, maybe you're listening to it on this Monday, recorded actually right after the July 4th weekend, going to be released on the Monday after July 4th, but I'm excited to talk to you about this episode. And whenever I try to come up with things to talk to you about, when it comes to persevering in your life, when it comes to success in your life, I always try. There was one thing I once heard before, and it came from one of the great people that I admire. I learned a lot from his books, from watching him online. Many of you may have heard of him. That's Gary Vee. And Gary Vee said years ago, and something that stuck with me, he said, document, don't create. When it comes to content, when it comes to social media, when it comes to business and what to talk about, he often would say, document, don't create. And that stuck with me because so often we're always like, what should I share? Like right now in this podcast, what can I talk about? What can I share of value that's going to help you move your life forward, no matter what the goal is, whether it's a personal goal, a professional goal, a goal with family, a goal with finances, whatever it is, what can I share with you that will help you move the needle forward? And when I think of Gary's thing of document, don't create, I said, all right, well, let's talk about what I had to do today on this Monday that many of you may relate to, and that's maybe coming off an extended holiday weekend this year, July 4th, a big holiday here in the United States of America. For those that listen here in the USA, it's our Independence Day, and many had off not only Thursday, but they also had off Friday, and then the regular weekend, they were off Saturday and Sunday. And what usually happens during those 4 days, not only was it a holiday, but it's a holiday that there's a lot of barbecues, there's a lot of parties, there's a lot of desserts and great food, there's drinking, there's just like you enjoy it, you live your life as I did. I was with my family on July 4th. There was probably 25 of us at a beach house on the ocean that my uncle has. He always has the whole family there, so we had a ton of food. We hung out at the beach. And then yesterday I was down at my brother's house for another barbecue, and it was 4 days of just enjoying the holidays. And I'm not saying we should not do that. As a matter of fact, you should live your life. There needs to be a balance of enjoying yourself. Like I train and work really hard physically when it comes to health and fitness. I work really hard when it comes to business. There are days I like to say that's really not, when it comes to work-life balance and people, picture this perfect 50-50 work-life balance. That will never be like that for me. And honestly, for most entrepreneurs or people that are trying to achieve great things, work-life balance, my work-life balance is never balanced. But ultimately, in the end, it balances out. What do I mean by that? There will be weeks where it's 80% work and 20% rest or 20% personal time doing things I enjoy to do. But then there'll be weeks where, the last 4 days, it was more personal time, enjoying downtime, relaxation, parties, barbecues, fireworks, and I only worked very little. But if you take the two of them together, yes, individually they were off balance, out of balance, but individually, when you combine them together, there is that balance there. So I think when it comes to this 4 days off, what happens to a lot of people is that Monday morning, we feel all out of sorts. We feel, oh my goodness, I don't want to get back to doing work. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to have to go back to the gym. Oh, I don't want to have to try to eat healthy again. It's Monday. And I know Monday after a holiday is a drag. And so often coming off of weekends, especially 4 days, not only is it a drag, but we kind of fall out of routine. We fall out of structure. We fall out of the thing that we know moves ourselves forward. And that's really consistency and doing the right things every single day. It's having the discipline to do the things that we know we need to do, whether it's getting that workout in, eating healthier meals, sending that extra email, starting that work project, applying for that promotion, doing that extra thing, whatever it is for you, whatever that thing is that you want to do. After coming a few days off, it's very easy to let the 4 days turn to 5, the 5 days turn to 6. Next thing you know, you're a week and a half. You're completely, off your game. Now 1.5 weeks leads to 2 weeks. And this is where people simply derail themselves and they procrastinate. And before they know it, they're like, oh my goodness, it's the holidays. It's the new year. It's 2025. What happened? And what happened is you never got yourself back on track. So today's heading and title is, I like to always say, is that one day can fix you. What do I mean by that? One day, just taking one day, and with my new philosophy, right? One decision away, you are one decision away from getting yourself back on track. You have to just understand to not let yourself get derailed and know that in a big picture way, I always like to say, one day can fix you. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that the first thing I need to say, and I looked down at my notes for a second, I forgot to mention, what happens here is when people let the 4 days off derail themselves and it goes from a week to 2 weeks to months, that's because so many people, and maybe you're guilty of this, we live in this gap, and it's the gap of hesitation. And the gap of hesitation is, I know what I need to do, and I know that I'm a little bit off track, but instead of actually taking action, I sit and I hesitate and I don't actually take that first step to get myself back on track. We live in this gap of hesitation, the hesitation to get up early, the hesitation to do our workout, the hesitation to do the things we know we need to do at work, the hesitation to get to bed on time Monday night since we've been up late a couple nights. People live in this gap of hesitation, and thousands of people never leave there. They stay stuck, and days turns to months, months turns to years, years turn to a lifetime. Why? Because we stay in an area where we know what we're supposed to do, but we don't actually do it. So I need you right now, whenever you are listening to this, if you've fallen off track, I need you not to overcomplicate it. I need you to understand you're one decision away from fixing it, and I'm going to explain to you why one day can fix you, meaning why one day can get you right back on track. Point number one, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I had a couple days. We had the barbecues. I explained all this. I felt a little bit off track. I made sure this morning my alarm was going off at 5 a.m. As a matter of fact, my accountability partner, somebody I run a lot of not trail races. I did run a race with him. A lot of trail runs with him is like, hey, do you want to do an early 6 a.m. trail run on Monday in the morning? Now, I was planning to sleep to about 6 a.m. He wanted to start running at 6 a.m., and I normally need about 45 minutes to get myself up, to go through my morning routine. That's a whole nother thing that I would speak about. There's an episode on that if you want to go back and listen. But I need about 45 minutes to get myself started. And he's like, do you want to run at 6 a.m.? And with that hesitation, yes. Why? Because I need to get myself back on track. I need to get up in the morning, even if I'm tired, because when the alarm went off this morning at 5 a.m., I felt tired. I felt groggy. I felt bloated just from the weekend. I'm keeping it real. I'm like, oh my goodness, was this really true? But right away, I got myself up. I went for a run this morning at 6 a.m. And immediately, this is my first point, how one day can fix you. As soon as we finished that run, I immediately felt different. Like instantaneous gratification, instantaneous fulfillment. Like I feel 1,000 times better than I did even going to bed last night. It was just one simple workout of getting the endorphins firing off and the dopamine and all the feel-good chemicals firing in my brain. Immediately, I felt different. It doesn't take days or weeks or months on end to get yourself back on track. One workout got me back on track mentally and physically because I felt better mentally. I felt good physically. And this is where most people think it's this huge, grandiose obstacle to get myself back on track, and it's not. Not only can one day fix you, one workout early in the morning can fix you. So that's the first thing. You immediately feel different. Number 2 is this. It gets you back on the saddle and instantaneously starts creating momentum again in the positive direction, in the direction you want to go. Soon as you're able to brush yourself off, and I was able to force myself out of bed this morning and get back on the saddle and get that run in, immediately I finished, I felt momentum. I'm like, all right, what can I do next? What am I going to do next? And as a matter of fact, today I agreed with my 16-year-old daughter to start a workout program along with her, an extremely challenging workout program that Beachbody has. It's called 6 Weeks of the Work. The trainer, Amala Caesar, is a pro athlete trainer, and I did it with her because she's starting the college process. And for ice hockey, I said, let's do this together. So as soon as I finished my run, I felt back on the saddle. I felt momentum kick in. It propelled me to the workout I was going to do when I got home that I did with my daughter. And by the time that was done, now I had 2 big wins already in the day. And this was at 6 a.m. was the run and 7:15 a.m. was the workout. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and I felt like $1 million. I felt motivated. I felt momentum. I'm like, what can I do next? What can I do next? What can I do next? Why? Because I understand one day can fix you. I understand one decision away. I'm one decision away from getting up this morning. That catapulted me to 2 hours later feeling like $1 million. And I knew that it would create momentum. So that's the second thing. Get you back on the saddle, creates momentum. Number 3 is motivation will kick in. So many people wait for motivation. They wait till they feel motivated and to start. That's the reality. People are like, I just don't feel motivated. I don't feel motivated to do that thing. I don't feel motivated to do that, take that extra step. But you know what? Nobody feels motivated. More times than not, you're not going to feel motivated. But here's the thing. When you start doing the things that you know you should be doing, then all of a sudden, motivation starts kicking in. Instead of waiting till you feel like it, you need to start, and then guess what? You start feeling like it. You got to flip it upside down on its head. Stop waiting for the motivation. You may feel it, some days and other days, but it's very fleeting. But if listen, I just need to start, even if I don't feel like doing it, I can guarantee you this, just like this morning with me, not only did momentum kick in, I felt motivated to do more. Guys, point number 4 is this. It affirms discipline, and discipline is the game. At the end of the day, if you don't have discipline, you have nothing. You're never going to reach your goals. Discipline is showing up day in and day out, even when you don't want to. Discipline is where it's at. That is the secret, right? Jocko, those of you that follow Jocko, he talks about discipline equals freedom. It's the truth, because if you have the discipline to do everything, then you're going to live the life of feeling free because you're in control of it. So for me, getting myself back on track, brushing myself off, getting back on the saddle, it created momentum. I started feeling motivated. I also know that I strengthened the principle, the mental toughness trait of discipline within my own body, my mind, my soul, because I did it and pushed myself after 4 days of basically feeling off track, and a day that after a holiday, so many people will stay in that gap of hesitation. So it affirms discipline. Number 5 is this. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. Why? Because looking back today, I feel accomplished that I got up. I feel accomplished that I got my workouts in. I feel accomplished because I got motivated. The things I got done this morning, I had a business call with a potential client for speaking. I'm writing up a newsletter. I answered emails. I'm recording a podcast. I'm editing some videos. I put a social media post up. Why did all that happen? Well, because I got myself up. But now because I did that and got started, I feel so accomplished, and it's still early in the day. And there's no better feeling. I often ask this on stage. I say, do you know what the number one source of fulfillment is? The number one source of fulfillment, right? What is the number one source of fulfillment? Well, my friends, the answer is progress. When you have progress in your life and you're moving forward, it's a sense of fulfillment. It's a sense of accomplishment. So by understanding one day can fix you. It truly can. It can fix you physically, because I didn't even mention I feel great with my energy physically, and it can fix you mentally because I feel motivated. Momentum's kicked in. I have a sense of fulfillment. I have a sense of accomplishment. I reaffirm discipline in my life. All of the things by this one day. And then the last thing I want to mention, this last point, is that later on tonight, when it comes time to sit down and relax a little bit, whether it's, maybe watching some TV before bed, maybe it's spending some time outside getting some vitamin D and some sun, maybe going for a walk, spending some time with my family, whatever it is, I am at peace. Like, I don't know about you, but if I don't get the things done I know I need to get done later on during the day when I'm sitting down, it's almost like I feel guilty. But now, because I got so much done, later on when I do want to sit down and relax, I'm going to feel that I deserve that because I was willing to put in the work before. I was willing to get up. And it started with getting up at 5 a.m. And that led to a series of events that I just kept going because I felt more motivated. I felt more disciplined. I felt momentum. I feel sense of accomplishment. It was like win, check, another win, check, another win, check, another win, check. So guys, the point of this podcast today is stop overcomplicating your life. Everything that happened up until this point is in the past, right? If you derailed from this weekend, and maybe you're like, David, man, I wish it was only 4 days. I've been off track. I haven't done the things I wanted to do. I'm overweight. I didn't start that business project. I didn't start that business. I didn't go for that promotion. I didn't do that thing with my kids and my family. It's been months. It's been years. All right. So guess what? That your past is equivalent to my past. What I mean by that is in terms of time. It's in the past. You can't change it. I can't change my past. We can't change it. But you know what? We're one decision away. You're one decision away from changing your future. How? By taking that one decision right now, today, to do the thing that you know you need to do, that you've been procrastinating on, that you've been hesitating on, and starting. Because once you start, everything else will fall into place. Stop overcomplicating it. It takes one solid day to fix you. And to get that one solid day started, you're one decision away from finally saying, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and taking that first step. So don't beat yourself up if you've been off track for months or years. And you know what? If you only were off this weekend, give yourself grace. One decision away. Get back on track today. So guys, my message as we wrap up today is all about one day can fix you. Don't live in the gap of hesitation. When it comes to your mindset, don't overcomplicate things. We tend to overcomplicate things. Keep them simple. Understand today you can go to bed tonight with feeling a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment, but it's going to take discipline. It's going to take brushing yourself off. It's going to take you to get yourself started and to do it even when you may not feel like doing it. So guys, that's my message for you today. Please share this episode with a friend. Let's pay it forward to help other people, because you know what I hear about so often, I'll end with this, at all my recent conferences, the number one thing that people are doing coming out of the pandemic still is they're procrastinating. People are stuck. People aren't moving the needle. People aren't moving forward again. So I know this message is for all of those people, and probably you, to say, just start. You're one decision away. Stop overcomplicating it. Today is a blessing. Today is a gift, and it's what you do with today that matters. So guys, thank you. Have a great day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Personal Perseverance Project. My goal every single day is to help people live up to their fullest potential. So please share this episode, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even leave a review. Be sure to connect and follow me on all my social media channels. And if you would like more information about me potentially being a keynote speaker at your event, or maybe you want to work with me one-on-one as your private coach, be sure to go to my website at davidatkins.com for more information. Thank you.